Vanessa, hey, congratulations on Candyman and returning to this universe.
Thank you. It's so thrilling. I can't even tell you, explain how thrilling it is.
Hey, so tell us, be honest, what was it like when you got that call to come back?
Okay. Okay, let me really be honest, because I'm such a huge fan of Jordan Peele. So, and my kids are, and we like watch them, watch all of his work. I've seen all his movies. And so, like, it was on my bucket list of people and creatives that I wanted to work with. So once I heard that they were doing the movie, I thought to myself and to my agent, aren't they gonna need the mama? Aren't they gonna need, to revisit the survivors of the movie? And so it was just a dream come true, literally and honestly, to work with, to get that call. And then to find out that he was a fan of mine and to talk about how he and his friends, Ian were like in their pajamas watching the original one and just like dreaming of the day that they could, do something with Candyman. It was a full circle, just a glorious moment. You know what I mean? So it was thrilling beyond, beyond, beyond.
Wow, that is pretty awesome. I know
Yes, that's fun.
it's been a while since the first Candyman, and I don't want to state when because I don't want to age, all of us here. But
Right? Okay.
but I understand it was like your first or second role in the industry when you came
Yeah.
to Los Angeles. Did you even wonder when after you finished that movie? Did you even was there like even a thought that it was going to be this big down the road?
Well, it was my first feature that I got when I landed here in Los Angeles, and it was only my second film. So the first film was New Jack City, and then I came to LA saying, let's see what LA's got to offer. So I booked Candyman, and then right after that, Melrose Place. So it was like boom, boom, boom. I was on fire. So I really, like it was I appreciated all that. And no, you have no idea what anything's gonna be. You're just so happy to have a job, and and that it was just thrilling and exciting. And I knew, working with Bernard and all the folks that I was working, Casey, who's a lifelong friend, and Virginia, and all the folks who were connected, even the makeup artists who like are now going on to be like, keys and just hot dogs in the industry in their particular fields. We're just paying our dues and moving on from one project to the next. I knew that the film was scary, and I knew that it was a genre that I had never worked in, and that it had something really marvelous to say. I loved Bernard's other films, in preparing to meet with him and singing that, the scary movie where the house, where everything the little girl draws becomes like part of her experience. So he's a wonderful story maker. And so that this soulful sequel is in the hands of, again, such marvelous storytellers, such, really sharp and just leaders in their craft and industry, and that they black people was just divine, and like a full circle important moment. And sort of, as I said in another interview, like a real experiential sort of experience of the needle moving ever so much, from this story being taken out of the hands of storytellers, about a population of people, a community of people being told by that community. Like, who tells the story matters. Like Lynn Manuel says, and, in Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Tells the Story. Because the narrative is so much more complete when we know how when it's coming from the folks who are affected by the horror, by what that means to come into that community. And not that like the other storytellers weren't aware of this and didn't do a good job, but they're coming from their seat and their particular lens. So it's so vitally important and refreshing to really come to this story from the lens of the people who have been oppressed, and to really have those things opened up. And if I will say, since we're here talking about the DVD and the Blu-ray, is that what's marvelous about what's included, the extras that are included, which I miss so much about DVDs, is like, the alternate endings, the backstage interviews, and what I love about Monkey Paw, because they're so clear about what their mission is and just how they're moving the needle and what's important, that there's this whole, hosted by Coleman Domingo, a panel of thought leaders talking about how the social impact of this movie really works in terms of how scene by scene, how each how the movie is different and impactful in terms of how it's depicting these traumas and the horror of the movie. You know, so they unpack Brianna's the scene where Brianna sees her father jump off the roof, and that goes back to a cultural story of survival for African Americans, you know, about how the people could fly. Like that's how they would rather jump into the ocean than be a slave. You know, they would rather, you know, it's how we like made sense of like the lynchings and the other stuff. It's like that he done flew away. You know, the people could fly, and so that this father, this daughter witnessing her dad in his, you know, mental frustration as an artist is you know, is perhaps, you know, how could he do that in front of his daughter is the question, right? And it's like maybe he thought like the people could fly and that he could fly away from his concerns and his worries. And the thing I was thinking about too, just popped into my head, is what we're also talking about. It's like how will people thrive in uncertainty, in violence that's against them, and how their artistry can survive. So we're talking about Anthony trying to be an artist in the context of how to be a Black man in a society coming from a neighborhood that was set up for his failure and systems that are set up for his failure, and what victory that already is, right? That he's gotten to this point, and what victory that his mother, this single woman, this single mom caring for her child who's already been traumatized, having been kidnapped, you know, early on in his life, and she's like holding this secret, and that she cannot protect him. And that's part of the horror and the trauma of it all. Besides, you know, the people, you know, Candyman ripping people up to shreds. Right. But it's just all of those things that complicate and compel us to this story. It's so wonderful.
No, it is a wonderful film, and you have no idea when the first Candyman came out. I was so fearful to even go in front of a mirror, thinking that this was actually real. And I think in interviews over time, over and over again, you are a scaredy cat yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, I still don't say it. I just don't mess with it. You know, it's like what one of the characters says, you know, we don't do that. We don't, like, you know, we're not trying to conjure nothing up. We're not trying to, you know, but it's really funny, you know, like who would do that? And then you go cut to this line of girls in the bathroom who are like, let's just do it for fun. You know, clearly these baby girls don't have anything else to be worried about, to be want to just for fun conjure up a monster. You know, so this speaks to like cultural differences of safety and feelings of just like privilege and just like we can do anything and say anything and we're good. You know, Black people don't walk around doing that because we're not so good. It's not so good for marginalized people to do even more life-threatening things. You know, to like put your, you know, we're threatened.
We don't care.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we're threatened walking out of the door. You know, just walking while Black, driving while Black, doing the normal things. So we don't have that that leeway to just be conjuring up a Candyman.
Well, this is a wonderful conversation. Hey, Vanessa, hey, thank you very much for talking to us. I look forward to more Black-led horror films because the social commentary is very important, because that is really important.
And I think also that it also makes the movie less of a throwaway, less of like popcorn, literally, where you just go in and eat it, and then, you know, that was a ride, right? It makes it linger. It gives you something else to think about, and it gives you something else to think about in an audience that is younger, that is, you know, often younger, and in a different kind of audience that would necessarily see, you know, a documentary piece on the gentrification of neighborhoods and stuff like that. You know, because it gives it a fun kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Something catharsis, you know, when you have cathartic, right. Cathartic, you know, experience, you know, to have. So yes, bring him on. And I think certainly it's making money. We were #1 in the box office, and other creators in the space, you know, Lovecraft Country and all these other, you know, filmmakers are definitely making real impact. So certainly Hollywood is going to bring us some more.
Most definitely. Can't wait to see you in a lot more projects too, Vanessa. Well,
Thank you.
congratulations once again, and everyone should get a copy of Candyman on Blu-ray and DVD.
For sure, for sure. And don't miss the social impact pieces and the other extras, alternate endings and back behind the scenes stories. So that's always fun.
Thank you very much. Next
Thank
time.
you. Yes, bye-bye.